Welcome to our podcast. My name's Mara.
And I'm Jess.
And
yes,
we're here to gab it up.
Talk about stuff.
To gossip and chat and
keep up on the latest goings on, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, we both have microphones. So, I mean, according to the logic of men, that means we need a podcast.
If we learned anything from 2022, that's you have a microphone, you make a podcast. Like, there's no middle ground.
Yeah, that's
Hello?
like, it's a new law introduced by Dark Brandon.
Not Dark Brandon.
Not Dark
Last
Brandon.
time we started with McCarthy, and now we're starting.
Yeah. Peek behind the curtain. This may or may not be our second attempt before technology foiled us.
Hey, a learning. I'm like, wait, is this all about everything leads to Mormonism or everything leads back to how shitty politics are? Both. Spoiler.
Could be both. So our concept for this podcast, because you may know us from our booktube channels, this is not, I mean, we can talk about book things if we want to, but this is not a book podcast.
No, not book focused.
No. It is focused on mess.
And how that mess leads us back to Mormonism. Because it always does.
Yeah, this is a shared passion of ours. Neither of us are or have ever been Mormon.
Never Mo for life.
Yeah, and Jess, I believe you, to my knowledge, I have never met a Mormon in real life.
Mara, I feel like you have, you just didn't know.
I'm sure that I've encountered them somewhere in my travels, but never to my knowledge.
No missionaries ever come to your door?
No, though I will say I just had like a moment of flashback. So as a child, the church that we went to was next door to the Mormon chapel in our town. So I'm sure I've seen them from afar.
It drifted over.
Because there was it was a street that had 5 different churches on it, and it went Catholic, Methodist, I think non-denom in the middle, Mormon, Presbyterian, and we were over in the Presbyterian.
Was it Church Street?
No, it was not. It just was in Tennessee. So every street is Church Street in Tennessee.
Anytime I'm like, I live in a really small town outside of a larger one, but I'm always like, why are there more churches than like grocery stores or, but we know.
Yep. That's just, so we have
different episode.
Yeah. At some point we'll probably get into our religious backgrounds because this is something we've bonded over, though I don't know that I've heard your like full story. So maybe we can do that in an episode.
Yes. Just stories.
Your anti-testimony?
Yes. What started my deconstruction journey. But I do know a Mormon, at least one, who is was my friend in middle school, which was, I don't even want to talk about how long ago that was.
Yeah,
I realized
depressing
Andrew
to realize.
Works with someone who was born in 2004. I am not okay.
Excuse me?
Not okay. Someone born in 2004 is serving in the United States Air Force.
Oh my God.
I said, shut up. I don't want to hear that anymore. Please, you're lying to me.
That's so depressing.
So it was a while ago that I knew this one gal, Katie, shall not say last name. And she's married anyway. I don't know her last name. But yeah, she's still Mormon. The last time I checked on the Facebook, the meta book, 5 children, I think all boys.
Oh, wow. You should send her the way that some people slide into other people's DMs to do like MLM sales.
Hey, babe.
Sales. Hey, babe. Have you heard of Mormon Stories podcast? Have you heard of the CES letter?
Hey, hon. I know it's been a really long time.
Please do this.
Oh my God. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. So neither of us have been Mormon. We know few Mormons, but somehow all of our conversations ultimately end up tying back to Mormonism. So we're going to do a podcast where we talk about the latest thing that one of us is obsessed with, because we always have sometimes it's a shared obsession, like the Darrell Brooks trial.
Cannot wait for that episode. We're
We're going to do a 3-parter on Harry and Meghan.
Oh, yes.
But somehow we'll have to figure out how it eventually ties back to Mormonism. That's going to be the game of this podcast.
You'll follow our journey.
Yeah.
It might be sometimes a reach. Actually, no, it's always going to get there.
I mean,
somehow.
It's like 6 degrees of separation, but I feel like the separation is usually going to be 1 or 2 degrees.
Yep. Yeah. It's a fact. And if you don't believe me, look at something in your life and try to trace its roots back. Bet you won't take it. It won't take you too long.
It will not take you too long. And you really just have to tie it back to a couple of key Mormons. So, like a Mitt Romney, who else? Those singers from the 70s, the family singers. I'm a little bit country. She's a little bit rock and roll, whatever their names are. The Osmonds.
I was seeing it. Oh, yes.
Yes.
I mean, they've been staples in our American culture, history, politics. They're everywhere.
Apparently the Mormon church owns like 2% of Florida. Like they own 2% of the land in Florida. They're the biggest
sacred. What?
Yeah.
I thought their sacred land was like in Missouri or something.
That's where the Garden of Eden is, I believe.
Yeah.
But
which is so funny to me.
I know. I'm like,
oh, okay. Missouri.
Yeah. If you've ever been to Missouri, I think you have some big question marks around that being the Garden of Eden, of that being a paradise. No offense to Mormons, or we should say, no offense is intended to our
none
Mormon friends. You just have a very fascinating subculture.
Yeah, fascinating. I'm gonna stick with that word. It's just, and we know there's different sects.
Yes.
Subgroups of
yes,
and not everyone is the same. We know that.
Yeah,
we got fundamentalists. Everybody's not wearing a prairie dress.
We know that you are not all giving your daughters to Warren Jeffs. We know that is not. So most Mormons, from what I can tell, seem like lovely people. Like genuinely, it seems like it's a good framework to raise your kids in, to produce very polite, kind people.
And they love soda. God, I can't wait till we talk about mom talk. And how that leads to.
And cookies. Fancy cookies also seems to be a thing.
Oh, excuse.
Oh, maybe we could do that for an episode. The crumble wars that are going on.
I didn't know. I've heard of crumble. I didn't know there were wars going on.
Well, maybe I'll have to
Mormons
do that.
Start crumble cookie?
Yeah, and there's apparently a rival brand. So maybe I'll do that as one of mine one time.
Oh yes, I need to know about this. I did not. Oh my, see. Just so much.
All roads lead to Joseph. Every time.
Just something as simple, a cookie. They're not just a cookie.
Oh no, those are.
Have you had one?
Good. Yes, me and my best friend went there one night. Also, somebody got into a car accident right in front of us. We ended up having to compress their blood. It was a whole thing. But that was the one and only time I've been to Crumble, and it was delicious.
I just was saving someone's life, and then I got a cookie.
No. It wasn't that serious. It was a guy on a bike, and he hit the back of a parked car. So he
ooh.
It was he was concussed. He wanted to go home by himself, and between the two of us and the person driving the car, we were like, "Can we take you to urgent care?"
At least you need to get looked at.
And he was like, well, no. So eventually we talked him into letting the driver drive him to his father's house, which was about an hour away. But we were like, you should not be by yourself tonight.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, side story. But that was my one and only time at Crumble.
I always see them. I've seen them in Instagram stories. I know Olivia, one of our book community mutuals, will post them in her vlogs, and I haven't gone. So I'm going to, for the episode, we need to have cookies.
That's a great idea. We'll do a taste test. They're expensive though. We'll have to
That's what I've heard. That's why I've been
they're a treat. But for you guys, we'll do it.
You're worth it.
You're worth it. So we don't know the name of this podcast yet. That's still in progress. We know the concept, which is all Jess, is all roads lead to Joseph. So that's the game we'll play every time. But you guys know what the name is before we do. So feel special.
If you could travel back in time and tell me right now, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Very helpful, because it's SEO / people have already taken Jess's brilliant suggestions.
How dare y'all? I haven't heard of your podcast, but you have my name?
Yes. Rude. Very rude.
There's lots of humor, dry humor, dark humor. Okay, you have to get used to it.
Yeah. I don't think we know yet if this is going to be weekly or bi-weekly, but again, We're all just here for the journey.
We're figuring a lot of things out. You know, it's still new in the year.
New, fresh.
With the podcast. So, you know, maybe by mid-year we'll have hit our stride and really know what's going on.
Yes. Also, welcome to my cat, for those of you watching the video. He's been trying to get my attention for the last 30 minutes, and when he can't do that, he then starts chewing on things. So, and that particular stack of books, I'm fairly confident I'm going to DNF at least some of them, and I'd like to take them to the used bookstore. So.
Let me get my money, Hastings. Sit down.
I went to the used bookstore yesterday, and I made 100 American Doll hairs. It was very exciting. Yes.
Ooh. Did you like take it as money or store credit?
I would have had $200 if I'd done store credit.
Oh my God. What is this bookstore called?
McKay's.
Oh, so good. I didn't know McKay's was a used bookstore. That one. Okay.
Yes.
I need to plan. Let me box up my books and get it to driving.
Well, I think some of it was because it's right after the new year. So like everyone does their Christmas presents and stuff. So I think they need to like restock.
Yeah.
I also had a particularly large load of them. I let it build up a little bit. So anyway.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Side note.
There's no good bookstores around here. It's just a bit of Barnes and Noble and Second and Charles. If you've heard of that.
Is that an independent one?
It's like I've seen them other places. It's almost like a half price books. You know?
Oh, okay.
So like they have new books, but you can also come and trade them in, but it's not an independent. Like,
got it. It's like a smaller chain.
Yeah. So I'm like, I haven't been buying that many books anyway, but you know, I could do for a good peruse, if you will.
I have a problem with buying books, so.
But it's a different hobby.
It is.
I love it. It's an experience.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
This is not a book podcast.
No. All roads lead to books? No. All roads lead to Joseph. And again, we don't know all the details yet, but this is the intro. So come join us.
You're going to have a good time, okay? I don't want to toot our own horn, but I'm toot. We're hilarious. So,
well, don't believe my word.
You're going to learn and you're going to laugh. And you might just love up in here. Who knows? Yeah. Live, love, laugh, learn, whatever. Something like that your mom has posted on her wall.
You know, if you like mess and you like two gal pals just, you know, digging into the minutia of the internet, this is a podcast for you. And again, no offense to Mormons, but y'all have some funny, fascinating.
Take it as an honor.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we didn't want to do this with Catholics.
No, not nearly.
No shade to the Catholics.
That might be an episode at some point.
All shade.
I've definitely had some mini tabs open moments around different aspects of Catholicism. So, welcome and stick around for our first real episode coming soon, probably next week, my guess.
To a podcast platform near you.
Yeah, subscribe. Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Leave us a review already if you know that you're going to love this, because it will help other people find us.
Yes, spread the word.
And you can
Sharing
find
is caring.
Jess at...
So most actively on Twitter is _ because someone has my name, said by Jess.
That is rude.
And they don't post anything, so what you saying? Same without the underscore, and it's just said by Jess on Instagram. I don't post that much. And then on TikTok, I like to clean and post those videos. Yeah. And then if you want to hear about books and book directly related mess, because yes, believe it or not, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
You can find me, Jess Owens, on the YouTubes. Thank you.
Yes. And you can find me at Books Like Whoa everywhere. Not Twitter. I'm on hiatus there because I don't trust Elon with my data anymore. Says somebody who also has a TikTok. I understand. But you can find me on BookTube or on YouTube at Books Like Whoa, TikTok, Goodreads, Instagram, all those things. And I also talk about books. Not the mess normally as much, but sometimes.
And you have another podcast, Mara.
Oh, that's right. I do. If you want like a book dedicated podcast, Changeling Cast I do it in seasons. So I'm not actively in a season right now, but if you want to catch up on some old seasons, you can head over there. Yeah. Okay. Yay! Well, welcome, and we will see you guys next week.
Toodaloo.
Bye.